Hey there, if you've got that big real estate exam coming up, you are in exactly the right place. We're about to break down some of the trickiest parts of real estate law and finance. Think of this as your personal cram session to make sure these concepts really stick. So you ready? Let's do this.
All right, let's get our hands dirty right away with a question that feels like it's pulled straight from the exam. It seems simple on the surface, right? But believe it or not, there are two major legal no-nos hiding in that one little ad. We're going to unpack exactly what they are, but don't worry, we are definitely coming back to this one, so tuck that question away for a bit. So here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll tackle the absolute must-knows of fair housing. Then, we'll dive into your duties with money and disclosures. After that, we'll uncover those hidden environmental risks. And finally, we'll get into the financing secrets that make deals happen. We're going to build your knowledge block by block.
Okay, first up, fair housing. And let me be clear, this isn't just about passing the test. This stuff is the absolute bedrock of an ethical and successful career in real estate. Getting this right is completely non-negotiable. You know, at the end of the day, it really all comes down to one simple, powerful idea. Every single rule we're about to discuss is all about ensuring one thing, that everyone has an equal shot at finding a place to call home.
So let's put that principle into practice. What's the official term for when an agent tries to use fear and prejudice to scare people into selling their homes? This is a serious, serious violation.
And the answer is panic peddling. You might also hear it called blockbusting. Basically, you're playing on people's worst fears to make a quick buck, and it is a massive violation of fair housing laws.
All right, here's another big one for you. What do you call it when an agent decides where to show houses based on a client's race or background instead of just their budget and what they're looking for?
That is called steering. Instead of showing a client everything they qualify for, you illegally steer them towards some neighborhoods and away from others. This takes away their fundamental right to choose where they want to live, and it is absolutely illegal.
Okay, let's get practical. Imagine this scenario. A great potential tenant wants to rent an apartment, but they have a guide dog. The building, though, has a rock-solid no pets policy. What happens now? What does the law require?
And this is a huge one, so listen up. Service animals are not pets. Legally, they are considered a reasonable accommodation, kind of like a wheelchair ramp, and landlords are required by law to allow them. It's a protected right, period. All right. We've got the foundation of fair housing down. Now let's talk about your direct duties as an agent. How you handle money and information isn't just important, it's what will protect your clients and your license. Okay, these two get mixed up all the time, so let's make it super simple. Commingling is mixing client money with your own, like putting their earnest money deposit into your personal checking account. Conversion is when you actually spend their money. Think of it this way. Commingling is mixing, conversion is taking. Both can end your career. So picture this. Your seller conveniently forgets to mention that the roof leaks every time it rains. When the new buyer finds out, who's on the hook? Does that problem land on your shoulders as the agent? And here's the bottom line, spelled out for you. The seller, and only the seller, is responsible for making sure that disclosure is accurate and honest. Your job as an agent isn't to be Sherlock Holmes and climb up on the roof. Your duty is to strongly advise your client that they are legally required to tell the truth about everything they know. All right, let's move on to the things you can't always see, but can get you in a world of trouble. Environmental hazards are a huge deal, and part of your job is to know how to spot the potential warning signs. Pay attention to this, because it's a fantastic cheat sheet. For asbestos, the keyword to remember is friable. That means it's crumbly or disturbed. Often, the solution is encapsulation, which is basically sealing it up. With radon, you can't see or smell it, so testing is key. And for underground storage tanks, or USTs, size matters. If it's over 1,100 gallons, federal rules kick in. Okay, boots on the ground. You're showing a house, you walk into the backyard, and you see something that just looks off. Maybe a weird oily sheen on a little pond. What do? What's the professional and legal next step? This is your 3-step playbook. It's simple, but it's crucial. 1, you see it. 2, you immediately tell your client what you saw. And 3, and this is the most important part, you tell them you need to hire an expert. Your job is not to guess what it is. Your job is to raise the red flag and get a professional involved. And now, time for our final section, the money. If a real estate deal is a car, financing is the engine. It's what makes the whole thing go. If you don't understand it, you're not getting anywhere.
So your client comes to you, and they're totally convinced that interest rates are about to take a nosedive. How do you help them pick a loan that plays into that belief?
In this case, you'd point them toward an ARM, an adjustable rate mortgage. Why? Because it's a bet on the future. If your client is right and rates go down, the rate on their loan will adjust downward too, which could save them a ton of money over time. And those fair housing rules we talked about, they apply to lending too. So under the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, or ECO, is a lender allowed to just ignore income if it comes from a source like public assistance? The answer is a big, resounding no. A lender can't discriminate based on where lawful income comes from. In the eyes of the law, a dollar is a dollar, end of story. Okay, we're almost at the finish line. In any deal, there are stacks and stacks of paper. The mortgage, the deed, disclosures. But what's the one piece of paper that is the absolute core of the loan? The borrower's personal, unbreakable IOU.
The answer is the promissory note. It's the promise. Okay, remember that ad from the very beginning? The one about the family-oriented neighborhood with monthly payments? Here's why it's a problem. First, saying family-oriented could be seen as discriminating against people who don't have kids, a violation of fair housing based on familial status. Second, advertising a monthly payment without disclosing the APR and other loan terms violates the Truth in Lending Act. You see, the laws give you the map and the contracts lay out the route, but it's your knowledge that's the compass. The only question is, are you ready to lead the way?